that in me you might have peace. In the world you shall have tribulation. But be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. Thank you so much. I want to talk about some things you face in life. Some things you will face in life. Help me say that. Some things that you will face in life. It is always good when you get advice from someone that you get it from someone that know what they're talking about. The person that spoke these words reminds us in other passages that he is Alpha and Omega. Alpha is the Greek word for A, Omega is the word for Z. He said, I am every alphabet that will spell every word of every problem you might have. But then he said, I'm not just Alpha and Omega. He said, I'm the first and the last. He said, before there was a when or where, then or there, he said, I was already here. And when everything else is gone, he said, I'll still be standing. He's not only the beginning and the end, the first and the last, the Alpha and Omega. He knows everything. There is nothing under the sun that he does not know. Not only does he know everything, he have already overcome what we are going through. The fact that he walks on the water when the disciples was in a storm, it reminds me that the stuff that's over our head is under his foot. So if you're going to get advice from somebody that know what they're talking about. He reminds us in the passage, and I hope you keep your Bibles open. He said, listen, that's going to come a day when you're going to have to encounter some tough times. It looked like it's now, doesn't it? Revelation 2 and 10 say, ye shall have tribulation 10 days. By giving it the number 10, he was saying it won't last forever. That is going to pass away eventually. But the problem that we have is that we seem to panic when things happen to us, if though we are exempt from things happening. But these things, says Jesus, is going to transpire. I watched this verse. I just looked at it when I was on the way out of the office. It says, at that day, you shall ask in my name. I like it because there are fringe benefits when you go to his name. I don't have any power with my name. Some folks think I do. My name is powerless, but not so Jesus. That you can take his name and block traffic. His name has healing in it. His name has deliverance. Just in the name. If you're sick, headache, bothering you, crisis, Keep calling his name. You'd be surprised to know what will happen if you just call his name. He says in John 14:13, whatsoever you shall ask in my name, he said, I'll do it that the Father may be glorified. He says in this verse, you can ask, and it's ateo in the Greek. That means an inferior is talking to a superior. You see, one of the things we have to always remember as saved people, we need to know who we are. You see, sometimes we grade our papers too high. We need to know who we are. We are dust, and he is divine. And so when we approach God, we must approach him with a humble spirit. Humble yourself in the presence of God. Know how to approach him when you come to him. He said, I will ask in my name. He said, and I say not unto you that I will pray. He said, listen, after you use arteo, Jesus said, I'll pray, and the Greek word for pray here is aratao. That is one superior talking to another superior. In other words, what Jesus says, that when you get through asking me, I'll use my authority and go to the Father and let the Father handle the situation. Anybody know sometimes it's good to know somebody that knows somebody? That sometimes when you don't know the right person, if you know somebody that know the right person, then you go to the somebody that you know how to get to the somebody you need to know. Talk to me, somebody. He said, I'll ask. But then the verse that caught my attention in the text, he said, listen, you need to understand that there are some things that you're going to have to face in life. And many times as saved people, we make life seem too easy, but life is not a flower bed of ease. There will come some things that you will have to face you won't get out of. One is this matter of sin. Many of us, we play sin down. We play sin cheap, if though it's nothing to be bothered with. But can I tell you, sin ain't nothing to play with. No. The Bible says in Romans 6:23, the wages of sin is death. He says in Romans 3:23, for all, that not y'all, but all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. Isaiah 53 verse 6, all we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to our own way, but the Lord has laid upon him the iniquity of us all. He says sin is dangerous. It is David that said in Psalms 23, he said, I have sinned against thee. And then he said, I need to remind you that this is not something that happened down the road. He said, I was born in sin and shapen in iniquity. 1 John 1:8 says, if we say we have not sinned, we deceive ourselves. He says in 1 John 1:10, if we say we have no sin, we make him a lie. Talk to me, somebody. Sin is dangerous. Sin soils, it spoils. Sin chokes, it provokes. Sin tarnishes, it punishes. Sin mars, it bars. Sin itches and it switches. And many times we try to cover sin up under another name. But can I tell you, I don't care how you paint the pump. If the water is contaminated, it won't change the water. And I don't care how you try to cover up sin, sin is still sin. We've started changing the name of sin to cushion the blow. You know, we don't call it adultery no more. We call it having an affair. We don't call it fornication. We call it dating. We don't call it homosexuality. We call it alternative lifestyle. In other words, we cover the name to cushion the blow. But the Bible says if we confess, the word confess doesn't mean I go tell you what my sin is. Confession means I agree with God. In other words, whatever God called my sin, that's what it is. Didn't say you told a story. No, you lied. Talk to me, somebody. You have to call sin what sin is. Anybody know what I'm talking about? You have to call sin. It soils, spoils, chokes, provokes, tarnishes and punishes. It mars, it bars, it itches, it switches. And can I tell you that sin has employed more people than any commodity you can come up with. Because of sin, we have to build bigger jails. So that means the construction company has increased. Because of sin, we have to make wrought iron doors and wrought iron windows. That means the iron factory has gone up. Because of sin, we have to make more high-tech burglar alarm systems. Talk to me, son. Because of sin, we have to train more dogs, watchdogs. Because of sin, we have to put more judges on the bench. Because of sin, we have to have more attorneys. Because of sin, we have to build bigger jail houses. Am I here by myself? It's all because of sin. Because of sin, we have anchor people on the news every evening at 5 and 10. Their whole discussion is about sin. CNN all day, 24 hours a day, their whole discussion is sin in higher areas of life. Sin is something we got to deal with. Say what you will or may, you can't downplay sin. Sin, treating sin lightly, is like putting a rattlesnake in your baby pen with your baby. Help me say it's dangerous. We have to deal with sin. We'll have to face in life. But not only do we have to deal with the sin problem, we got to deal with the Satan problem. Because the devil is on the prowl. You hear about it every night when you hear people getting shot out for no reason. 5-year-old get killed. Crossfire in gun. 10-year-old die. One black brother shoots another black brother. Talk to me, somebody. Sin, Satan is on the prowl. I don't have to ask you about it. He don't just deal with those folk. Satan come after us. If the only reason you have not ran into Satan, it means you and the devil are headed in the same direction. But if you're saved and born again, you're going to run into Satan. And you must learn how to deal with the devil. 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 18, Paul said that I would have come long before now, but Satan hindered me. The word hindered in the Greek language is incompto. It means it's come from the idea of you traveling down a road and it has a lot of potholes in it. And the potholes get so notorious till you turn around and go another way. Sin create life and make it uncomfortable. Make it uncomfortable at your house. He make it uncomfortable on your job. Am I here by myself? Sin make life so, Satan make life so uncomfortable, it's unbearable. You start doing stupid stuff, strange stuff. The devil, he's named Satan. He's called Lucifer. He's called the son of the morning. He's called a thief. He's called a robber. He's called a murderer. He's called the accuser of the brethren. He's called the prince of the power of the air. He's called the devil. The Greek word is diabolos. Dios means through. Balo means to throw. And what Satan do, he keep throwing after you until something stick. 2 Corinthians 2:11, be not ignorant of Satan's device. Greek word is noema, from the root word noeo, from the root word nous, and nous means mind. In other words, Satan come after your mind. That's why I'm looking at several people now. You worried this morning about stuff you can't do nothing about. And that's a trick of the devil. You see, whenever you worry, you bring indictments against God. Indictment number one, what I'm worried about, the Lord can't handle. Indictment number two, he can handle it, but he don't care. Those are sins against God. Yo ain't saying nothing this out. You see, the devil, if he can get you with a problem with the Lord, you will stop trusting the Lord. When you stop trusting the Lord, you start leaning on your own understanding. And when you start leaning on your own understanding, you got the wrong person as a counselor. Because you're going to always give your grades a grade too high. Satan tries to stop you and cause you to worry. Matter of fact, he loves to play mind games. He will have you thinking folk talking about you and they ain't paying you no attention. He'll make you think people taking advantage of you and they don't even know you're around. Do I have a witness? Satan is a dirty fighter. The Bible tells us, he said, in this life you shall have tribulation. Greek word is flipshin, mean pressure. In this life, you're going to have some pressure. But what I discovered is the tough times that make you strong. It's the tough times that keep you moving on. It's the tough times that help you be the kind of child of God that God would have you to be. Number one, you have to face the sin problem. Number two, you have to face the Satan problem. God asked the devil, where you coming from? He said, to and fro, seeking whom I can devour. You see, Satan is smart enough to know that the less God you have, the weaker you are. And the less words you have, the less God you have. And the less words you have, the less faith you have. And he said that the just shall live by faith. And God know how to test your faith. He wait until you go through a crisis and see how you handle it. Do you lean on your own understanding, or do you seek the Lord and say, Lord, I don't see my way, but I know you do. Lord, I don't know how I'm going to make it, but I know you do. Lord, I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, but I do know who's going to bring tomorrow. Preach, Reverend Ray. We have to deal with the sin problem. Have to deal with the Satan problem. But we have to deal with the sick problem. Because can I tell you, because of what we are made out of, our bodies were not designed to last. Stay healthy as long as you can. Eat right. Drink right. Sleep right. exercise right. But can I tell you, sickness will come. It comes sometime unexpectedly. It catch you off guard. Talk to me, somebody. I'm talking to 2 or 3 people who may not be in this house, but somebody listening to me now want to be at church, but help won't let them come. I'm talking to somebody here now that you've gone from doctor to doctor trying to get well, but don't look like nothing worked. Your body was not designed to last. We're here and gone. But can I tell you one way to handle your sickness? Treat other people right when you're well. See about them. Go visit them. Pick up the phone and call them. Tell them I'm praying for you. Tell them I love you. See if it's something you can do to aid and assist them, because you never know when it's coming back to your door. You don't realize how important, how helpful it is to encourage a brother or sister until you get sick. And you sit there all day and nobody calls you. Nobody comes see you. It dawned on you that's what you did. Now when you help people, visit sick folk, the one you help may never come see you. But God will send somebody. Sometimes it's your next door neighbor. Sometimes it's the person down the street. Sometimes it's the person you least expect to come, but God will send somebody. Sickness will come. We have to learn how to deal with it. And don't outsmart your doctor. We got so much sense. Talk to me, somebody. When I was young at home, Mama did the best she could with medication. We had only 2 kinds of medicines in the cabinet: castor oil and Tim-Time. Only medication we ever had in our house until I left home: castor oil, Tim-Time. Every March, Mama would line all of us up and tell us, "Oh, my mouths," and give us a tablespoonful of castor oil. Whether you were sick or not, it worked. And then if we cut ourselves, she would get Tim-Time. Pour on this wound, and so we didn't go get no stitches, didn't go no doctor for nothing. God aided in it. Y'all don't hear me. God aided and assisted and kept us well and healthy. God has fixed it so now the doctors have advanced so much in technology that you can walk in the morning with a bad heart, have a transplant the same day, and walk out that night because of the knowledge of scientists and physicians across the land. God himself reminded Paul he needed a doctor with him. And if we needed doctors then, we need them now. Take advantage of your doctor. Get your physical every week, every year at least. Not every week, but every year. Eat right. Take your vitamins. Preach, Reverend Ray. Learn how to avoid some sickness that might come upon you. And now, of course, during this season of the year, keep your mask on. I don't care how much faith you got, how much you say, I can trust in the Lord. Well, trust him, but don't kill me. Keep trusting him. Keep depending on him. I trust him too, but I keep a mask on. I trust him, but I get my shots. When I'm eligible for the booster, I'm going to get that. Y'all don't hear me. Because we have to do all we can to protect ourselves and to protect others. You can do more for the Lord when you're well than you can when you are sick. But when you're sick, understand that you can trust. Well, God bless you. Listen, we're out of time, but